Man, probably a fun fact on me is that I like to read. Like I like to read. That's a lost art nowadays. Oh, my great uncle is Jesse Owens. He won 4 gold medals in 1936.
I always want to leave people with this, man, to all the viewers and everybody out there, man. Make sure you guys finish your story. Make sure you guys finish your journey because somebody's going to need it.
Yeah. All you got to do is push the back button. That's all you got to do is push the back signal.
Try not to think about the future too much so you can maximize the now.
Who's your favorite rap artist?
Man, to be honest, it's crazy. Tupac always been my number one, right? Like he got me through so much stuff, but Lil Wayne has been in the modern day.
I said, what does it really take? What does it really take to be great, Drew? And he looked at me and he was like, you really want to know? And he was like, to be honest, everything you did to get here, you need to be consistent times 10.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody out there doing today? It's your boy, Coach Lee, back at it like we're mad at it. Know how we like to do around these here parts. Welcome to the Nothing But Basketball Show. Appreciate y'all hanging out, doing your thing with us tonight. We're going to come with that fire like we always do. But before we get it started, got to bring the crew on to do their damn thing. That being said, see, we're doing basketball. He's a foe today. My man, too. LA, man.
What's going on with it? Who are the haters in your neighborhood? What's going on, everybody? Mr. Watt in the building. Hope you get into it, Coach. We here at the Nothing But Basketball Show. May do a few step backs. Hit a 3. You know what I'm saying? But hope everybody gets to it. We might have to get an extra dose of that in a second. We got the drops coming in a bit. What up, man? We know who it is. What's going on? Live on Twitch, I believe. We mentioned last night we need somebody on Twitch. So appreciate that, brother. But we got to bring on, the Rookie of the Year, the Tuquan Watt Award. You know what I'm saying? I was Rookie of the Year last year. I think I was the only rookie. Unanimous decision. This guy's getting a couple good votes in on the low. My God, Willie.
What's good, people?
Yes, sir. We're in the building.
My man's on Twitch asking ye shall receive, man. That's a real leader for you right there. We talk about it, he make it happen. That's how it go.
Make it happen, Captain.
I mean, I'm in the building. I'm a little under the weather today, but I'm gonna have my flu game. We out here.
Yes,
about to drop 60.
You're gonna drop 60. That's good, man. Just make sure you get about 7 dimes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. always the dimes. I ain't Kobe out here.
Ooh. Hey, man. How's your day today?
It was smooth when I wasn't coughing and nodding off.
Wow.
You get some of that Theraflu, man. Or you down here, gonna make you a little toddy. Get you a little, you know what I'm saying, a little brown, a little yak or something.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in some honey.
Little shot, warm that up.
Yes, sir.
And knock out.
You're feeling better, man. Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight.
Appreciate it.
This said rain, sleet, or snow.
Oh yeah, this is gonna liven me up, man. This will give me the adrenaline shot.
Definitely appreciate you, man, coming on tonight, man.
Absolutely.
Chris Paul to Blake Griffin in, but you need DeAndre somewhat to make them the team that they were before.
We go ahead. We here to lock it down. We're here.
Yeah, lock it down. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. Let's get it rolling.
Yeah, how we start this off, man?
We're gonna start this off. Shout out to the Apple first off. Shout out to the Big Apple right now in basketball. We gave shout out and love to the Big Apple in terms of football. They was turning up at a point, but the NBA seems to be that way with the Knicks and the Nets. Knicks, riding high on a winning streak. The Nets, looking better. Since all the controversy, kind of left the airwaves in a big part. In terms of Kyrie Irving. Kevin Durant, I think their best players are starting to feel some mojo, man. But anyway, we're going to start with the New York Knicks. Last year and every year, a lot of people mention that, hey, man, maybe the next free agent goes to New York, it turns the Knicks around.
Every year, talked about, and every year, never happens.
But what we all realize that, it doesn't happen. I don't think anybody wants the job of completely turning over the Knicks. The last guy that wanted a job that was Carmelo. Carmelo wanted the job, ended up,
not because he's from there. Not from there, but he went to school there, so he really had a reason.
So he ended up with Jalen Brunson this year. Guy who ends up number one on your target.
Well overpaid.
Well getting paid, absolutely. Good contract. But we all
I don't mean to say a man's overpaid. He deserves his bag, but what I'm saying is he getting paid more than he probably played for that. I mean, he just had a good run in the playoffs and he got himself a nice hefty bag that most teams wouldn't have given him. That bag was supposed to be for Donovan Mitchell, and the Knicks couldn't.
Bag was supposed to be for Donovan.
Yeah,
Donovan was all around the city touring, going to Mets games. He thought the Knicks had snatched him. Ended up with Jalen Brunson. There was a lot of talk. His father works throughout the organization, and things just sparked out like that. So I mean, we see in the NBA where there's a lot of foolery going on, a lot of talk before the actual engagement happens. We've seen it in prior years. We've seen it a lot of times in our lifetime. It happens. And now the NBA, in the last few years have kind of stiffened, penalties, for teams that tamper, or react too early. Things like that. The Knicks were forfeited or gonna forfeit a 2025 second rounder for an early discussion with Brunson. We know the signing period starts at a certain point, but the negotiation and talk, to me, it happens all year. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is nothing changing. Nothing changes from
All-Star game notorious for it.
Absolutely. You see,
it's a recruiting trip.
The Marcus years ago, right after the All-Star game, he's switching jerseys and going to the Pelicans. Like,
right.
Things of this nature. Like, people at summer league games going to chat, going to find their next person to pin on their team.
Two things I'll say about that. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Sir, Merry Christmas, man. Merry Christmas.
Salute, Chris. Appreciate you, man.
So I say, one, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, especially with the type of recruiting and stuff like that. Like, that's a given, man. You got to expect that type of stuff. And also, I'll say, come on, leave it to the Knicks to get penalized for doing this.
Can't even do it right.
For Jalen Brunson, though.
Yeah,
exactly. For Jalen Brunson, no disrespect, and they didn't penalize. It's like a second rounder. Okay, they didn't penalize him for initially. Of course, they couldn't. I feel they can't. In this situation, talking with his father and his father bringing back talks to the Knicks. Like, they didn't. They said they could have stiffened the penalty, but they didn't because of the fact that the father-son situation, but that would probably be the reason and why you would do it. So it's kind of Knick stylish. A Knick way to do it right now.
This is the most Knick story we done heard in a while. Like, first of all, like how do you? There shouldn't even have been a paper trail if you got his father in house already. This should have been the easiest. This should have been the easiest like sneak whisper campaign that ever happened ever. Like, should have been the easiest. Yo, this is the basketball equivalent of Tiger Woods getting his whole career ruined by knocking off Denny's waitresses. Like, this is crazy, man. Like, what are we really doing?
Hopefully, Tiger don't teach his son how to knock
right. Like leave the waitresses alone, kid. Don't be like your dad or your granddad, who was worse. Man, it's just like, yo, this is why the Knicks are gonna be the Knicks forever until they get rid of Dolan and stop acting like goofballs from the fish right at the head. So it started with Dolan, and the rest, everyone else in that whole organization it's laughing gas, man. They're goofies.
So let me chime in on this here real fast. So Jalen, he balled out for us while he was here for the most part. He made his money in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But Luka was out too.
Say again.
When Luka was out too, he
he got
busy.
Won them 2 games for it.
He got busy.
So here's my thing. First of all, I'm glad he got his money, got his paper. Like I said, his pops is there. He kind of leaked out. We probably the Mavs leaked it out. It is what it is. But there shouldn't have been a paper trail. But we all knew it was going to happen because, I'm not mistaken, one of the executives was his dad's agent also.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. So more paper trail. But anyways, the Knicks Have they improved compared to last year?
Didn't move the needle.
At this point, didn't move the needle. So, first of all, it's a second round pick. Second round pick in the NBA, probably the most famous one is probably who? I think was a good second round pick.
Chill Will. Chill Will, bro.
Okay. So, but point is, you don't get a lot of all-star caliber players out of the second round. So that part is really not a penalty for them. It is what it is. But they did all that. They pretty much circumvented, the whole process, got penalized, and you still can get that right. Like you say, they won't do what they need to do until Dolan is gone.
Yep.
The Knicks ain't been relevant since Van Gundy was there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was battling the Miami Heat every year.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably the most recent time for them to have gotten over the hump. Melo went there, he was balling out, but he really didn't do nothing there either.
Herbie Lin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Linsanity.
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 I don't know what they're doing. New York is the mecca of basketball. Now you got they trash. The Nets are underperforming. But at the same time, why do you think players don't want to really go there? They get the names as far as, like Melo wanted to go there. He got traded there, but he kind of requested to go there.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it really that much pressure to be the savior for them?
Mm-hmm. It's very simple.
Nobody wants that.
It's very simple, man. Like you gotta deal with basically bad management or not great management on both of those teams. I say the Nets. How you doing, Bobby? I say the Nets a little better, obviously, but not great still. You got to deal with basically bad management, no real direction. And then the New York media, man. And in a time where social media is already booming everywhere, and then you got the New York media on your back, it's just what it used to put it like this. He says a lot, he chirps a lot, and we got to hear it all the time, and we clown him a lot. But the one thing that KD said that was like, that definitely profound was he was like, look, we all grew up, this generation, my generation and lower, grew up not seeing the Knicks or the Nets as anything special at all. They weren't prestigious at all. They didn't have any great players or like a great run that you wanted to go there. It's like it's just a city in the end. Like that's all they had to offer now is the city. Yeah, I mean, no one wants to the Celtics are still the Celtics. Like no matter what time of era you in, they have the 17 banners up there. The Lakers are the Lakers. They got the banners up there. Those are the places you want to go. There's no reason. What's the draw to New York? The city?
New York's the city life, just the city and everything else in it. And like you said, but in terms of that, KD and them in Brooklyn, why? Because, we obviously seen in the last few years why they're up there, to get to run shit. So I think it's a matter of, organization, up top, middle. It's not the basketball team and all. They're going to get players. It's the NBA. They're going to have their team. But for what people speak of New York, the team has not been talented-wise to even be in contention or in the conversation of being a contender in the East. And, we had those glory days in the 90s where they were rocking. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks, Madison Square was rocking. Nowadays, you deal with, you see Spike Lee every night, but is he really, truly happy? You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen Spike really, really, truly happy in a real playoff situation in a very long time, So it's tough.
It's real simple. It's cost-benefit analysis, man. Like, what's the cost versus what's the benefit? The benefit of being in New York, it used to be it still is the city. Like, I get that part. But the cost is, first of all, the cost of living in New York is wild. It's wild. Taxes, all that stuff, it's crazy there. And then again, the media and the fact that you're probably not even going to be contending because they're not putting a great team out there. It's not worth it to most players. It's going to take, although having said all of that, I'm interested to see what happens with Bradley Beal by the trade deadline.
Mr. Wrestling will happen soon too.
So let me ask you this. So Nolan bought the team like in 99, maybe? I think. And
I believe so.
probably the most relevant. No, I spoke earlier about, when Van Gundy was there, them be relevant, but they had some pretty decent years with Melo there.
And
But
Amari,
I was-
like Amari, the little
Yes,
Amari
right.
run.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true. It's true. So I just want to focus on that time frame. So let's go back maybe about 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Melo was still there. They made some bad coaching hires. They hired Larry Brown. It signed to a $50 million contract in 2005.
Yeah.
They got into it. He was gone after a year. Okay. They hired Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah had some legal issues going on there.
Don't he always?
Yes. So bad coaching, bad searches and coaching hires. They overspend. Obviously, everybody remembers the Allen Houston extension in 2001.
Paid him
$100 million
past what he was
contract back then.
Yeah.
Didn't really play. Okay.
Too much pressure. I agree with that.
They paid a dinosaur.
Yes. He forced Donnie Walsh to step out. And he brought Melo in, and they say that let me see, it's a quote here. Who's this quote from? Angel Diaz from Complex Sports. Dolan was the man behind the Melo trade, giving away 80% of a starting five for a guy that doesn't make people better.
They
Donnie
gutted the team.
Walsh was so disgusted with Dolan's meddling that he walked out the door, leaving the franchise he helped resurrect.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, they gutted that team. Remember, it was like Danilo Gallinari. They had like it was I forget who else they got.
Here you go right here. So that trade, the Knicks got Carmelo, they got Chauncey, Ronaldo Balkman, Anthony Carter, and Sheldon Williams, but they gave up Gallinari, Raymond Felton, Wilson Chandler, Moscow, 3 future draft picks, including a first rounder and $3 million in cash.
Yeah, Wilson Chandler and Mozgov, like Gallinari, and Gallinari, Mozgov, and Chandler were young, and they ended up having some good like years after that. They play and Felton too. Felton was solid too. I mean, Felton ended up like drinking himself out the league. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, man, they. That's what was funny is because before that trade, the team was kind of balling with those players. They were like a piece away, and then they traded everybody for the piece away that they were. Melo should have just rolled the contract out and then walked over there instead of trying to get traded there. I don't know how much longer he had on his deal, but
trying to force him out between George Karl and everybody else. Melo's trying to force his way out, man. I agree with you on that.
And it's still bad blood between them to this day, ain't it?
Yeah, it's still bad blood. George Karl, whenever he mentions but I feel like, I mean, on the terms of the level, you know what I'm saying, maybe a little like I respect, but in all that, they're gonna jab at each other when it comes to the interviewers in your face. They're definitely gonna do that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, second topic for the night. My man, I can't stand him. I know Unc don't like him. But is Chris Paul on the decline? I saw a meme from over the weekend, I think, that said that he was 1-6 at that time since Kanye outed him for sleeping with Kim.
the poison strikes again.
So this is where I give Paul his props. He's definitely, for what he did on his resume, other than obviously winning the championship, which you probably would never see. He's had a pretty solid career. I still think he's probably going to be the next NBA commissioner. But do you think the I won't say the slander, the hate that he gets is warranted?
You want this one too?
Oh man, Chris Paul. Shout out to the man, future Hall of Famer. Chris Paul's earned it, but the way he plays and the way he goes about it, I can see why he shrugs people the wrong way. You see it. Chris Paul reminds me of my older brother. older brother's a dog. Older brother's a dog. You know what I'm saying? But there's certain things that he does in the game that most people be like, you know, and not even the dirtiness or anything. It's just the competitive drive of the game.
It's too competitive.
Too competitive. You know what I'm saying? He means the right things all the time on the court. And Chris Paul means a lot, everything right on the court. It's just the way, you know, the opposition views him as. You know? He's little too. He's not a 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" player. You know, guys 6 feet. Maybe under that, maybe 5'11".
It's possible, yeah.
And just, you know, he's had his strings in his career where he's been that dude. He's earned it. I don't understand why he gets the slander he gets. But guy at the end of the day is gonna be top point guard
ballot Hall of Famer.
It's gonna be a top guard all the time, and his resume speaks it. Now, you know, you can say rings and things and all that. Hey, people that don't have rings, some of them are sitting comfortably in life.
Barkley.
And if you're sitting comfortably,
they mention it. Look, they mention it every show.
You mention every show. And hey, at the end of the day, you gotta live with that. You an NBA player. You took part in the story. Now, if the story says you didn't win no championships, that's cool. You know, if you want to be a guy like DeMarcus Cousins, who has animosity towards Chris Paul and say that he's not a top 5 of all time PG, then that's your opinion. But we've seen enough of them. We've seen enough of guards. Even if you want to rate guards generation to generation, you don't have a lot in front of Chris Paul while he's been playing. And I'm talking about the prime years. We ain't talking about now. You know, you got a bunch of killers now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you accidentally stumbled on the problem right there. You didn't even realize. You said guards, but it sounded like you said guards. And the problem is that's his nickname, the point guard. And when you get a nickname, the point guard, you get held to a higher standard.
You gotta resurrect the dead, man.
You gotta say kind of like something like, you know, you call LeBron the chosen one, the king, things like that. You gotta kind of revert to your nickname.
So when you play to the level that he's played over his career, when you've done the things that he's done, and when you're as good as he is, you have to get one, at least one. Now, where I say that it's messed up is that he should have been a Laker with Kobe.
Definitely. CPD is definitely on the decline. We definitely all see that, yes.
He should have been a Laker with Kobe, and there's no doubt that would have been at least one ring.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, they won one without him. So, but.
So is Boogie right in saying that he's not a top 5?
All time?
Yeah.
I mean, we could lay it out right now. You can lay it out. You got Magic.
You got Oscar Robertson. You got Steph. You got Isaiah. You got Stockton. I would probably even slide Nash in there over him. You got Mr. NBA himself, Jerry West.
West. I mean, West. I don't like. I can't give West a point guard. He was a wing. I mean, he had the ball a lot, but I can't call him a point guard. You can if you want to. It's your prerogative, but I don't really think he was a point guard. But and I won't say I don't think Oscar's better than. I think Oscar was a dominant player, but I think I take Chris Paul over Oscar. Just I know statistically Oscar went crazy with the triple-double and stuff like that, but
I put Jay Kidd over Chris Paul. Just from running a point and being a defensive stopper. Chris Paul, yeah, he's going to have the assists. He's going to have the offense first way, but I look at the whole package. Jay Kidd, I'm not just saying the guy who's a former Maverick, current Maverick coach, but if you look at how Kidd game evolved,
he could shoot by the end. It was crazy how he could shoot by the end.
Crazy how he can shoot. And
because he couldn't shoot at all at the beginning.
He couldn't. He was just assist man, layups, things like that. Has Chris Paul game evolved since he's been in the league year over year over year?
Here's the problem. I'm going to agree and say that it didn't evolve, but that's because that's how good he was.
Okay.
He didn't have much to evolve. He always had a complete game since day one in the league. Since day one in the league, he could pretty much do everything that you could ever want a point guard to do. I mean, sometimes you got to just take a minute and think. I think sometimes when we think about like Chris Paul's history, our mind kind of stops at the Rockets or the Clippers. But like, what he
balled in New Orleans.
What he was doing with New Orleans, like carrying a squad that had no business being anywhere. In the playoffs, giving Kobe the business, like literally toe-to-toe with Kobe. So if you can go toe-to-toe with Kobe at any point in your career or his, look, but like, yeah, you got to win one. Also, my favorite player is Allen Iverson. My favorite athlete is Allen Iverson. So I always going to give you a little more nod for being small. He's 6 feet, man. He's not, yeah, you're right. Kid's a monster, but Kid's 6'4". Stockton, they listed 6'1". He's probably 6'2", 6'1", 6'1", 6'2", fine. Different era. It wasn't really a scorer either. It wasn't asked to score. Just passed all day to Malone. I would take him over Stockton, even though Stockton was crazy with the assists.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I just think if you put him, I think if you give him a Malone, he might have got a Malone ring. I think he had an ability to take over, like he could pass just as well, I feel, as anybody that we've ever seen. Maybe not as flashy.
Right now, Chris Paul is 3rd in assists, 4th in steals, 39th in scoring. And he's still balling. When Stockton got done, and right now he's 1st in assists, 1st in steals, 51st in scoring. So he still got his buckets facilitating everybody else. So let me ask you this. I'm gonna give you a name and tell me. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I also think that, like, again, when you have a walking bucket like Malone,
true,
the entire time, not just some of it, the entire time, a walking bucket like Malone, like, for example, for our era, if Chris Paul played with KD the entire career, what do you think his assist numbers would be then?
Up there.
I feel like they'd be a little higher. But I digress. He didn't play with them. So, but go ahead and say what you were going to say.
So, I'm going to ask you. Just let me know who you would take. I'm going to throw a couple of names out there.
Okay.
If you would take Paul or who I named. So, you've already said you take Paul over Robinson, Paul over Stockton.
Yeah.
Magic.
No, Magic.
No, I'm not taking him over.
Fair enough. Steph Curry.
Not taking him over Steph.
I'm not taking over Steph. Steph changed the whole entire league.
It's not because Steph changed. It's not because Steph changed it. It's because when they matched up, I just feel as if like that was, the stepping stool. Like, and for real, be real. I mean, Steph's still with his little injuries in his career. Chris has too. Yeah. But it was about overcoming those injuries. And Steph has overcame those injuries with titles. And a lot of this list, pertains to him not winning, Chris Paul, being where he is on the list.
Yeah, he beat Chris Paul too a couple times.
Okay.
Like
Zeke.
Nope. Zeke's unanimous. Zeke.
Nah, Zeke. I gotta take Zeke. Zeke won a ring, man. Zeke went out and did it. On both ends.
I'm pretty sure you take him over Nash.
That's a close. Like, don't get me wrong. I cringed when you first said it, but my brain been rattling since then. Like, that's a close one. Nash was crazy. But then I think about the team he had, and
he had a team set up for him too, and all that. Little Chris had the team set up for him too. Chris was still young, renegading his own team. So I would take Chris Paul over Nash. Y'all said Big O. I would not take Chris Paul over Big O. I would not.
See, my problem with Big O is when you go that far back for me, I start questioning the overall talent of the league. And like, it's tough for me. Cause then it's like, all right, well then Bill Russell's greater than everybody because of like the way he dominated an era that just couldn't handle him at all.
You got Big O, the first one to average a triple-double.
Yeah, but also when he was doing that, was he winning championships?
No, he didn't win until he got with
right.
Kareem.
That's like those numbers were. Look, people love to get on Russie because of the hollow numbers. Them numbers were hollow when he was doing them until he went with Kareem, and he went to Kareem. Like, come on, if you can't win with Kareem, you need to leave.
Fair enough. Let me see. Who else was up there? Bob Cousy.
I'll take Chris Paul. I love Kuz though. Cool. I mean, I gotta love Kuz from where I'm from. But
I'm taking CP, man. CP's like in a 5-7 border, man.
Yeah.
If you want to flirt with the statistics, man.
Yeah, you can keep naming too. Like there's
Dude,
others.
There's a lot of them. There's a ton of point guard position is just so lovely because
The kid one is it might be the hardest one for me because I know how nasty Kid is.
So I'm looking at Kid. He's second in assists and steals behind Stockton.
Yeah, Kid.
He's 87th in scoring, which you talked about earlier. But
Yeah.
he's also 58th in rebounds at point guard.
Yeah. Kids. See, Kid's one who put up the numbers and they weren't hollow. Like, I mean, when he was putting them up, they didn't win, but he was carrying the Nets all the way to the finals. He was doing things like that, and then he ended up getting the ring with Dirk and them.
And then he ended up at the end of his career developing some type of jump
shot.
shot.
Yeah,
He ranges from behind arc at the end.
like a 3-point ball that was clutch. He was hitting shots.
Kid will probably be the best point guard of all time if Kid had a jumper early in his career. Because the way he played basketball, the way the dynamics was, the way and his way changed the game. You know what I'm saying? And then when he got older, brought in the things that you're like, damn, he's bringing in all that. You know,
also his
36, 37, like
his vision was second to none. Like he had eyes in the back of his head. Like it was crazy how he got.
What about the glove?
Toughness wise, a lot of people ain't going over the glove. That's
the glove. The glove needed a ring in his prime to the way his career went. He needed a ring in his prime to make it make sense.
Well, I understand that. He did.
Did he get one?
He did get one.
He did get one at
the very end.
But during that case, you got to remember too. Now, when you look at it all now, and it's something you look at the teams that he was on, the guy that he had, Sean Kemp. You see what he dealt with over the course of the career after the Seattle run. Was Gary really in a situation where he was gonna get a ring? I mean, they got to the finals. Shout out to that. He did his job. Trying to contain Mike.
Well, the problem is that anytime you ask that question for that entire era was that guy in a position to get a ring? The answer is no, because Jordan was
in the West. In the West, you know what I'm saying? You was a guy. Y'all ran a long time with that tandem log. If I'm thinking about tandems,
it should have produced more of that tandem. It definitely should have.
And it had some guys. It had some guys. Stellar Shrimp, Perkinses, Hershey Hawkins. You had some guys.
Smooth. Walt Frazier.
What's another monster? Jesus, the point guard position is crazy in the NBA. I think I would take CP.
Fair enough. Nate Archibald.
Tiny man.
Which I was almost named after him by my mom.
Oh man. Oh man.
Archibald. That's I'm gonna take CP just for this, and that's no rallies and unanimous.
Pistol. I mean, that's a game changer too. He's another.
Who you say?
Pistol Pete. He's another culture changer. He was a lot more flash. Like he reminded me of Jason Williams too. White chocolate.
I'm taking CP,
but he was better. Yeah, taking CP.
And the last one I got for you.
Yeah,
Tony Parker.
Oh, that was the easy one for me because I think Tony's one of the most overrated players in the league.
Really? Because of the supporting cast he had?
Yeah, and because the coach was amazing. Now, don't get me wrong, like every great player, you're gonna need a good coach. But like, I just think like, I think he's a coach and a team away from being Leandro Barbosa.
Wow.
You taking Tony over CP?
No way.
Okay, no way, Jose.
Never.
I'm not. You had Sonified. You had Hall of Fame, Glamorous, Sonified. Two Hall of Famers when you first came in. 3 Hall of Famers. Sorry, Coach Popovich. I apologize.
Like the team was here. I'll give him his props for being as fast as he was. Crazy fast.
He learned the game fast.
And at one point, he led the league in paint scoring as a point guard, which was crazy.
I hate when he gets to the paint.
That goddamn floater. His floater was.
He kind of started in the ring for like ridiculous fouls being called, like and ones. When I think about that, Tony
Yeah.
Parker kind of started that with
He
that
got some.
close,
Yeah.
and making referees blow the whistle. And
Yeah, he put the body on you. He was fast as hell. He was
that's hell.
he was really a great player. I'm not. I make jokes with the Leandro Barbosa thing, but he was a great he was a great player. But I just feel like
For this discussion,
and also considering that team, I feel like you could plug in any of the names that we've already talked about and get the same or better results, including other names. Like you put Dame Lillard on that team, they might have won more because of the way he could shoot
right?
and the way he could take over
Fair
in the
enough.
clutch.
I can rock with that.
Yeah, so like you put a bunch of guys in that spot, and I think you get the same results. Now,
Yes.
do they all take a back seat to Timmy the way he did? That I have to give him to have the talent that he had and to be like, nope, I'm one of three instead of being like I'm the guy. That that makes him a little different. I'll give him that. But what you gonna say?
So, do you think Paul finishes out his contract in
With the
in
Suns?
Phoenix? Yeah. Keep in mind, he is 37.
37, and that's about the same number per year that it is million. It's around there.
See, last year he made 30. This year he counts 28.
Oh, I thought it was okay. I thought it was back in the 30s.
Next year is 30.
Okay.
And then the last year is 24, 25 is 30 as well.
Here's the thing. At that age, knowing with the history with the injuries, what is and where is the market for CP right now? I'm not saying nobody wants him because I know your Lakers would kick a baby right now to get him on their team.
Yeah.
But that's they don't have the capital to do it. So what I'm saying is of the teams that could afford to do it, and then of the teams who need and or want him, that's a small market right now at that
See,
price.
that's where I can see maybe something like with the Nets, possibly.
So where you move that Brunson contract almost immediately.
Well, not the Knicks, but the Nets.
Oh, the Nets. The Nets.
With him and Durant.
Tops.
So you move Kyrie.
Yeah.
And you put the Dookie with the Kentucky kid and let them go get buckets over in Phoenix.
I think he fits their style of play better.
He just might.
And remember, if it happens, I heard it here first. But I
don't hate that move. I don't hate that move.
And also, I'm looking at it from this aspect. He's going to get moved. It's probably safe to say after they was gleefully dismantled by my Mavs last year.
Yeah, that was so fun to watch.
They probably should have broke that thing up.
Right.
Aiden looked like he was on his way out to kind of give them something new, but they brought pretty much the same crew back. But
except less bench.
I think less bench. And I think I saw something today where Aiden and the coaches are getting into it again.
Yeah, they were. Yep.
They're going to have to split that thing up. But thing about it now is you just signed him to a new max deal.
And for a year, they can't even trade him.
Yeah, that's the hard part, the year can't trade thing, because I think you had to sign him because I don't think you could afford to let him walk away. Just from an asset standpoint, just letting him walk means then you got to go out and sign another center outright. Sure, you have the space now, but like you got to go sign somebody outright, and you already know how. You already know you can go. Excuse me. We told you I was sick when we started.
It's all good.
You know you can go over the cap when it's your draft pick, when it's your guy.
Right.
So I don't know if they could have afforded for him to just walk away. So you had to sign him. Now he didn't want to just be signed and traded, so they got that clause in there. So you got to eat this year with him. I don't think he finishes that contract. You're talking about will Chris Paul finish out his contract with the Suns?
Mm-hmm.
That's a question. But also another question is, will Ayton, and I don't think Ayton will. I don't think Ayton will finish that contract.
I think you can move him. I'm looking at his contract now.
He's movable.
30 this year, 32 next year, 34 the year after, and 35 the next year.
That I mean, it's a high
And
number.
only
It's
27 at that point.
Yeah, it's a high number, but he's young. You could move that. You could. Shit, your Mavs might even take that.
I was just about man, get out my head.
I like your team, so I like whenever I think of moves, your team's one of the first teams I go with. Like,
I'd say no. I say no.
Why?
Because Chris Paul at 37 is going to be the same Chris Paul at 38, 39. When he ever does go to the Mavs, and you got to think about it.
We talk about Ayton.
People that he's built. You talking about Ayton?
Yeah, we talk about Ayton going to the Mavs. Chris Paul. I think we're all in agreement that the market for Chris Paul.
Ayton, yeah, I mean that could have been good for them. You know what I'm saying?
No, we mean moving forward.
You know what, Christian, going forward.
Because I don't think Ayton's gonna finish the contract.
I'm going east.
Yeah,
you think he goes east? Indy was the
east.
rumor originally. Indy put the money up.
I'm going.
Yeah, they did, and Phoenix matched it.
I'm going.
And now watching how he's playing,
he's not happy.
Well, but he needs a guy who's gonna feed him, and Halliburton would gladly do that.
Yo.
That dude Halliburton does nothing but feed the needy.
I can say, hold on. A team that can take. Well, I don't know where the money is. I don't know where the capital is. Maybe not, because you got to pay, a guy, saying the 7 next year. But with the leaning of Al Horford dividing, and you got Robert Williams in, the Celtics can be primed to go get a guy like that. You know what I'm saying? The Celtics can be primed to go get a guy like Ayton.
Here's the thing. With Rob on the squad, I think our first response to that would be we don't need him. I think our second response would be his contract would complicate when Tatum or Jalen's comes up at some point during that contract's length, that it would complicate things. And honestly, he's too soft, man. We had enough problems with us looking soft. The reason why we just lost back-to-back games to the Magic is because they came in here and bullied us, honestly. Like, they literally strong-armed us at home, and they came in and muscled us with a rookie as their best player, and they did it twice. The reason is because sometimes we play a little too soft, especially with Rob Williams not around. I think if you ask any Celtics fan, they'd be like, "Nah, we're all set on Ayton."
Yeah, he's not. I'm looking at his stats so far this year.
You know what he reminds me of, but less effective? He reminds me of how when Brook Lopez was soft when he was younger.
Yeah.
But less effective. Because Brook, even though he was a little soft, wouldn't get as many boards as you wanted. He still had post moves and he could still give you 25, 26. Ayton doesn't even do that, though. I don't know if it's the system.
He averages 17.6 points a game. That's 2 assists, 62% from the field. But I'm looking, he's ranked 15th in rebounds.
7-footer.
And you're 15th in rebounds.
That's weak sauce.
And
what's the blocks looking like?
Blocks, 0.8.
Yeah, not even a block a game. You 7 feet and athletic.
So from the rebound aspect, he's behind Bam, Embiid, Nurkic. He's behind Bobby Portis.
I love Bobby. Big game Bobby, man. Like, Bobby's a baller.
Bobby Butler.
Steven Adams is in front of him. Jared Allen.
Those guys are like, that's all they do.
Zubac. But, okay, so even at the blocks, what I say it was 0.8.
0.8. That's like
at 47th in the league.
Yeah, that's terrible, There's probably guards.
You have to do one of those things very, 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 very good.
One of the two. Like, you got to board up or block.
Board up, block, or your average got to be at least 20.
In the 20s, right? Exactly.
You gotta give it something.
Yeah.
So
we'll hit a three or some threes.
Exactly.
So yeah, he's not. Look, do I still think he could contribute to a good team? Yeah, but just not mine.
Maybe he needs to know that. Maybe that's his role. Maybe he feels like he feels like he can be a number one, but in reality he isn't. And people have been trying to tell him that. Maybe that's what Monty Williams be trying to tell him, but he don't be listening. Maybe he thinks he's better than what he is.
I think he may feel that he could definitely be a number two, and I can't even say no to that because there's certain teams where I think he could be a number two. But right now he's playing number three, And it's not even just that he's in number 3. Like, you can see, like, when you watch the games, look, I know that it's not their system and their style, but at some point you're like, dude, that guy's 7 feet and he got a couple post moves. Why don't you just like take a break from your playbook, dump it down to him and let him go get a couple buckets? Like, just give him, like, run some plays where you just give him the rock and let him work. And they don't do that. They it's not even like they're like, oh, well, we do it sometimes and then we stray away. Like, they just don't.
Right.
They run their system. They're like, you get yours within the system or you don't at all. And he's like, what are we doing here? Like,
shout out to you, Rocket to Mook, 1998, man. Damn, was that the year you born? Put that shit on the last show. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, man, tuning in, man.
98 years of Moss. So that's what I remember
So,
every time from 98.
We won't talk about that. But
yeah, I bet you.
So break time, fellas. We went over a little bit tonight, but we had some good topics tonight so far.
Definitely, man.
Man, it's our first break. It's crazy. That's the longest we've done it. First segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But hey, man. So we're gonna take our first break for the night. We'll be back about 15-20. Appreciate y'all tuning in with us.
Pew, pew, pew.
Hey guys, it's your girl Tamara Moore, former WNBA guard and current head coach at Mesabi Range College. I want to give a big shout out to STWF Media, the big brand, for showing love and always being about those good sports. Make sure you guys show them love. You and your community can join them every week to talk about sports. Shouts out to them and make sure you check them out.
At it, we back at it like we ain't never left, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all hanging out to the Number Basketball Show, man.
Yeah.
So this one here kind of excites me because I like to think of myself as a sports historian, and part of history is being able to tell the story of the players. But a player's story reaches its pinnacle with a Hall of Fame nomination and potential induction. So I want to take a look at this year's Hall of Fame class, which was announced today. You got a couple of big time first time nominees. The frontliner, you got Swish 41, you got the great Dirk Nowitzki, you got the Flash, Dwayne Wade, headlining.
What I miss?
Talking about the Hall of Fame class for this year, or the nominees rather.
Okay.
We got Dirk and Dwayne as the frontliners.
Oh,
the first time nominees.
First ballot, both of them up.
Then you got Paul Gasol.
Ooh, he could probably be a first, but I'm not sure. It depends on how many they give away.
Tony Parker, which we talked about earlier.
Man, what a class, huh?
You got Popovich.
But he's still playing. I mean, he's still. But I get it. Wait, how does he go up? Don't you got to wait a certain amount of years out of the league? He's still here.
I don't know what the criteria. So is that the same criteria for coaches?
Oh, I guess not. I don't know what the criteria. Actually, the criteria that I just gave is the NFL criteria. So I'm just over here making up rules for the NBA at this point.
Right.
you can check that because I definitely.
No, I don't think there's any criteria. It's just the way it rocks. I mean, maybe the credentials honor him to be in that situation. You know, I know for a player, I think it's like 4 years.
I just
I think for a player, it's like 3.5, 4 years.
I was throwing numbers at the wall.
You are worthy. I believe that's what it is.
Yes, player must be fully retired for 4 full seasons before becoming eligible for enshrinement.
I guess coaches don't.
Coaches go, man. Definitely, man. The Whiskey spent 21 years with the Dallas Mavericks, 14 All-Star selections, had an MVP nod, All-NBA nods, some championship, championship to go with it, Dwayne Wade, got a few of those things. 13-time All-Star, named Finals MVP after the championship run in 2006. 1-2 more with Bron, Bosh, and the crew. Retired.
This is how Pop is getting in. For a coach, he must be either fully retired for 4 full seasons also, or if he's still active, he needs to have coached either a full-time as a full-time assistant or head coach on the high school, college, or professional level for a minimum of 25 years.
Oh, that's what he has. He has.
He just got the run. That's what it is.
He's He's in his 27th season as Spurs bench boss. So, and I believe he was assistant before that.
I can't believe it's been 27 years. That is bananas.
When it's all said and done, they're gonna have to. It's gonna be some type of award named after that dude, man.
Oh yeah, definitely gonna be. It's gonna be the Greg Popovich Coach of the Year. You know, that's what it's gonna be. Definitely
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need more awards, so they got the name when it's already out.
Was that 2 weeks ago? We talked about how new they just brought up.
One of the 15 greatest coaches ever. He's one of the 15 greatest coaches ever, but you know he's in that top 5 category.
I'm glad you almost made me mad. Like I thought he was taking a shot. Like he's one of the 15.
No. I only mentioned 15.
Like he's one of the 3 greatest coaches ever. What are you talking about?
There was a panel in February that along with the Basketball Association, former NBA coaches, and they named them along the 15 greatest coaches in history. So they had a ceremony for it. And he passed Don Nelson for all-time wins. So
yeah, Don Nelson coach. It felt like for an eternity.
And this is crazy. So I'm looking at some of his career history. Started in '73 as an Air Force assistant, but he was on Larry Brown's staff at Kansas.
That checks out.
He was on Tarkanian's staff in San Antonio.
I love Tark, man. Tark's a beast.
And he was on Nelson's staff at Golden State.
Man,
he's around some legends.
That's a reverse coaching tree where you not one guy who produces a bunch, but one guy who went to a bunch of great coaches himself.
And look at it. I mean, you got first-time coach nominees as well, along with him, John Beilein and Jim Larranaga.
Oh, Larry Nagel?
Yep.
Larry Nagel, who looked like he always did a fresh line of coke when you see him. That's my guy, man. My guy be wide-eyed. Like, I swear that dude lives off a Red Bull.
And according to the Sporting News, Wade and Nowitzki are 100% probability of being inducted. Tony Parker's at a 93.9 and Gasol's at a 93.4.
TP's higher than Wade?
CP's higher than Gasol. I mean, Tony Parker's higher than Gasol.
But not higher than Wade, though.
Not higher than Wade. Wade and Nowitzki's at 100%.
Okay.
Probability going in. And it's interesting, too, now we're going through Hall of Fame. I mean, now I want to look through, potential guys.
Yeah, I feel old, man. I feel old.
2024 Hall of Fame, Vince Carter will be one of the nominees in 2024, along with
Insanity.
Took, this is about the first wave of me and you feeling old now.
Yes, this is the first.
Yeah, this is when it hits you.
This is when
it guys you grew up playing, going to Hall of Fame. For me, it hit me when I be seeing like Larry Nance Jr. I'm like, I remember watching his dad play. Gary Payton Jr. I'm like,
yo, I mean, I even have some of that too with certain play with the juniors, because like some of the juniors I watched it, like Greg Biggio in baseball.
Yeah.
His kids playing. Bo Bichette. I watched Dante play. Like I remember Dante Bichette playing. What are the guys in the NBA? There's some juniors in the NBA right now.
A couple juniors. It's Kenyon Martin Jr.
Yep. That's one. Gary Payton Jr.
Yeah, Gary Payton Jr. Absolutely.
I watched GP play.
You got Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
I
remember watching his dad play.
Since you got Klay Thompson over here, you got
Curry. How do we miss the Currys? I watched Dell play. I remember watching Dell in the 3-point contest when I was young. I remember watching that. Yeah, that's wild, man.
You're gonna have Bronny soon if he does make it. You know what I'm saying? This is a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of the Curry, you ever seen that clip? I love that clip. They was at a warm up one day, and Dell was in the building doing something. He was like on the sideline, and Curry was being goofy and like rolled the ball over them. And at first he like kicked the ball away. Then he rolled it over again, like because Dell was having a conversation, and Curry kept messing with him, rolling the ball over. Finally, Dell just scooped it up, banked one from like 50 feet. Curry lost it. Steph went running around like doing his running thing, but it just I thought that was funny.
It's
man.
amazing, man. You got followers that you grew up with, you followers in the league.
You put them both in, like they got the pictures of them younger around all the NBA players, man.
So here's one for you know. I like looking at lists.
Yeah.
You got Greg Anthony and Cole Anthony.
Cole, yeah.
Cole.
You got
twin of my
Manu Bowl and Bobo.
You got Bobo.
Bobo, yeah.
You got Adrian Griffin and Adrian Griffin Jr.
Yeah.
Adrian Griffin Jr. leads the rookies and buzzer beaters this year too.
Yeah.
You got this one I found was pretty interesting. Where'd it go here? Even though I never saw his dad play, but Melvin Booker and Devin Booker, but both played against Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, Melvin Booker was getting.
So how did you not see? Oh, you just didn't like you literally physically didn't see him play?
Right.
Yeah, okay. But like it was still the era. You was alive. You was watching basketball.
Then you got
there's one for you too. Another one for you because I don't think I saw him, but Kevin Porter.
Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah, that's big. Terry Porter's dad, right?
Terry Porter. So,
yeah. You got. Is he still playing?
The fact that he's Kevin Porter.
Terry Davis got a kid that playing.
Who?
Terry Davis.
Terry Davis.
Oh, maybe the Davis dude.
I didn't know him because he would know.
He's the third, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He's like a third, right?
His son is Ed Davis.
Oh, Ed Davis from North Carolina. Ed Davis. Is he still got a job? No.
Nope.
He's with
not Ed.
No. Up until last year, he played with Cleveland.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm like, Ed don't got a job no more. Ed definitely didn't pan out in the league. I mean, he played some years. It's always good to get double digits as you know what I'm saying?
Role player, like a rebounder, yeah.
You know, at the same time, you know, people say, you know, you can't call somebody a scrub or anything like that.
Nah, he was like an 8-8 guy.
He wasn't Shaquille O'Neal guy, but we appreciate it.
Yeah, he was a double single guy. 8-8.
Larry Drew and Larry Drew II.
Mm-hmm.
You got Larry Nance too, right? Larry Nance?
Yeah, we did that one earlier.
Yep.
Patrick Ewing Jr.
Oh yeah, P. Ewing Jr. Pippin's son.
Pippin's son's in the league, yep.
Harvey Grant and Jeremiah Grant.
Yeah. Oh, he got two of them too, because it's Jeremy and
Jerry and Grant.
Yeah, Jeremy and Jerry. Yo,
that one makes me feel real old because I remember watching Harvey playing in college. That makes me feel real old.
Harvey playing against Horace, dog.
He's like, I was in middle school with Harvey.
Adrian Griffin and AJ Griffin.
Yeah, AJ Griffin, dog. Griffin.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shout out to the Hall of Fame.
Ron Harper and Ron Harper Jr.
Yep. Pippin's son.
Quite a bit on here.
A lot of legacies.
John Lucas Jr., John Lucas III.
Yeah, he didn't pan out. He was a baller at Oklahoma State, though.
Yes, he was. He leading to like a final.
Yeah, that team was fun because them jerseys are nice to look at when they balling. And that team was never good again, I feel like.
It's Chauncey Billups. Hey, we got this list too, man, of chances of guys, best players that, you know, can get a Hall of Fame nod, but haven't yet. You know, you got Larry Faust at 94.2, Chauncey Billups at 84.4, Sean Marion at 75.6, Maury Stoudemire, which probably just dreaded his stock by the news that came out about him the other day.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
72.9, and Sean Kemp at 38.4.
All right, so hear me out.
Okay.
I guess it's based on accolades only, but based on who they were to the team and who they were like in the league, who would you put in the Hall first? And who you think should have the higher percentage? Tony Parker or Chauncey Billups?
Man.
See, for me, it's
Chauncey was a dog.
Dog. And I'm a little biased because he started with Boston, but he was a dog.
Chauncey was a dog, but that's tough because both their careers kind of juvenated at the same time. I feel
Played both ends.
I gotta go with Chauncey.
Played.
Man.
Thank you. Played both ends of the court.
I gotta go with Chauncey.
Played both.
Only because
and he was the guy.
He did it at multiple stops.
I'm gonna say that's tough.
Multiple non-Timmy and non-Pop stops.
That's something what that sounds. That's something what that sounds. I want to yell. I want to say Tony. I want to say Tony. And
the numbers make you want to say Tony.
Yeah, man. The numbers too. You gotta remember in the national flow, it rings a lot. You know what I'm saying? The international flow rings a lot. Chauncey, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? His career
he boogied down in Colorado.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go Tony. And it's
It's
hard
fair.
though.
It's
It's
fair.
hard. It's hard.
That's why I knew it was a good question.
At the same time,
It's right here.
Said defensive player, pick the
Coach,
ball.
I got it right here. So
Coach,
I'm looking at it. So, yeah, obviously you got 4 championships compared to 1. They played about the same amount of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Parker played on a better team, so he had 5 more years of playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But only 1 more All-Star game for Tony Parker.
Mm-hmm.
They got the same amount of Finals MVP. Parker only got 1 more All-NBA team, but Chauncey got 2 All-Defensive teams. The Parker's 0.
Lock up.
Right there is
Both
what
ends.
killed it for me.
He played both ends, and he was more of a floor general.
And he played in the Eastern Conference. and the credit.
Hey, he used to bust ass in the West too with Denver.
No. I mean, no, he played in the West too with Denver, but that Eastern Conference just alone, like just being in there, because when you became in the Western Conference, you was a dog.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have that dog in you all the time, but it's hard to try to go get all-star nods and things of that nature.
In the West, yeah, real hard in the West.
You know what I'm saying? But, that's tough, though. It's tougher than what it seems, though. But like I said, both of their careers kind of peaked out at the same time.
It was close,
and it was good that they met in the finals, too. You know what I'm saying? You get guys that you compare, and you're like, they never played each other before. Well, these 2 guys played each other.
Yes,
so it's kind of good that we have this interesting.
Yeah, like the minute, because when you started running off the names, and I'm like, all right, I know you said CP was 92, and then you ran into Chauncey at 83, and I'm like, wait a minute. That's a convo for me, man. That's a real convo.
That's a real convo. I think that's Phil's value to put in the group. Because I would like to hear people.
I want to hear people weigh in on that because that's a good one actually.
Let's look at the playoff averages. Points per game. Chauncey 17.3, Parker 17.9. Rebounds 3.4 Chauncey, Parker 2.9. Assists Chauncey 5.7 to 5.1. Steals 1 to 0.9 and blocks 0.2 to 0.1.
They're like the same dude. They're like the same guy.
They're the same. It's kind of tough for them. Like they kind of the same.
But the defense
except pure defense, like steals and blocks, whatever. But like actually defending somebody, Tony Parker at times they had to hide him. You ain't never had to hide.
Right. Chauncey kind of had to come in as a bold defender. Before the offensive repertoire, became, something that he can mess with and have both sides, of the basketball player.
And also, there's something to be said about a guy who's your number 1 option versus a guy who's your number 2, maybe 3 option.
Right. And everybody's like, if Tony Parker how about Tony Parker had his not his own, because the Pistons teams,
When you went to stop Detroit, look, you had to try to stop the whole system that they were running, but the number 1 guy you went to interfere with was Chauncey. When you go to stop the Spurs, it's Timmy every time. So
no doubt. You
ready
for the last break?
I'm ready for the last break.
Last break, we're gonna come back and look at a couple of power ranking lists submitted by my guy too.
Just 10. Just 10.
We're not gonna do the Will special.
No, we're not. Not today. Will despite my energy, Will not make it. I promise.
We'll be back about 15, 20. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us.
Sir.
What's up, world? Kyrie Robinson, man. New Orleans Saints veteran. Hey, man, make sure you guys go check out my guy, man, STWF, the media, man. Check them guys out. Y'all want to get sports talks with players, with fans, anything like that, man, go check them guys out, man. That's the place to be if you want to talk sports. Who that nation?
No.
Welcome back to the Number Basketball Show, segment Tres. So we got a couple of power ranking lists. We'll take a look at. So let's say, I want to get the top 5 for the rookies this year, and then the top 10 of the NBA. Is that cool?
That's cool. Absolutely.
I like it.
Okay. Coming in at number 5 with the Houston Rockets, Jabari Smith Jr. He's averaging 11.9 points per game, 7.1 rebounds, and 0.7 assists. Most recently, he was number 3 in the previous listing. He was a number 3 overall pick this year.
Yeah, I just, how players are forever tied to each other, usually in the same draft. It was heavily thought that he should have been number 1 pick by a lot of people, and I think the Magic got it right.
Oh, what? Hold on. I've seen this, and I was going to mention it. I totally forgot what that interesting Hall of Fame segment we had. But the Nets scored 91 in the first half versus the Warriors tonight.
Was it at home?
Damn.
I believe so. The Knicks rung up in total 134 last night, and the Warriors lost.
The Warriors cannot play on the road at all this year.
Yeah,
it's bad. But back to Jabari. Jabari's nice, man. Jabari got he got an all around game. But I mean, he's on a team that isn't great, clearly. But yeah, he can. I love watching the kid play when he's playing. He's a baller. It's gonna be interesting to see where his career goes. Because like I said, a lot of people thought he should have been number 1. But I think the Magic are quite happy with the pick that they took.
Definitely, man. For me, man, a couple of things that went for me for him this week is the shooting woes. Started at the beginning of the season, started the heat up of the season.
Yips.
It's going right back to reality, man. Got to be less conservative, pick your shots. Be smart with your shots, especially as a rookie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Rockets have a ton of young talent. He's adding in as and other than that, you know what I'm saying, playing smarter basketball for him, would be something that I go to the tribute and do homework on. He leads the league the class of 2022 in fouls.
Did we probably see the last hurrah of the Warriors?
Oh no, I don't think so. I think they saw what happened last year in terms of them winning it all against a great team in the Celtics, and I think they took that win and they decided that, okay, with the help of Wiggins and the help of guys that they have added to the roster, like guys like Poole. I mean, with the help with the rise of Poole and Wiggins, I felt that they thought they were like, all right, cool. Then we can get rid of some of these guys at the end of the bench and start focusing on our young talent. And their young talent isn't ready yet. I think they jumped the gun. They just and it shows by what the record is, what's happening. Where are they losing mostly? They're like really great at home, but they are horrible on the road. And that is classic young player, can't get in the rhythm, can't find his way on the road.
I think in terms of what they have constructed right now, I think they're a team that they've saved the big trade. Every team, tries to dig in the trades and try to rejuvenate, what they have before it ends up in being gone. Luckily for the Warriors, they won last year. There's not a team in the West that can prove that they can go over the top of them. You have to say they're still the favorite. But I feel like the way they've been playing, they're kind of begging for somebody to go and chase the title this year. And I think it may result in them having to go move some pieces to stay relevant, especially if you're going to keep Clay, you're going to keep Steph, you know what I'm saying, keep Poole, guys that you sign money to, and try to go probably shop maybe a Clay or a Draymond. Something's going to –
You can shop Draymond, you won't get much back from him. You can't shop Clay because Curry would kill himself.
You probably can shop one of those young guys, two of those young guys.
We've had this convo before. It's you need to see if Wiseman can play his value up enough to trade him, and Moody. But if you really want to make a move, it's probably Kuminga because Kuminga's the nicest of the rookies that they got, all the young guys they got.
I feel like no bull. I feel like somebody in the West is going to take it this year. Only question we're going to have in that debate is who is going to be, and will a team let the Warriors end up with it again? That's the reality of it.
I think the two best teams in the NBA are in the East right now. I think the East takes it.
The Bucks and
Bucks and Celtics. Yeah. Despite the fact that we keep losing the teams that we have no business losing to.
I would agree with that because the West is actually tight. I was listening to a local station today, and they were talking about the Brunson trade, which we talked about the first part of the night. And they were asking, do they think that Brunson, if he was on his team, that he would help account for 5 more additional victories for Dallas? And they all agreed that he probably would. And they said if that had been the case, they would be first in the West right now.
I can see that, yeah.
It's such a jam pack right now. But I would agree with you that the East right now, early favorites, top 2 teams are definitely over there. We're gonna talk about that.
So we will.
Number 4 for the Sacramento Kings, Keegan Murray. Number 4
Murray,
overall pick, 11.9 a game, 3.9 rebounds, 0.7 assists.
And he kind of started slow. They worked him in because they have a couple bigs there. Like they have some bonus and stuff like that. But yeah, he can shoot it a lot better than I thought. So that's the thing about what's his name? The first pick. Who we talked about before? Who was the
Jabari Smith Jr.?
Yeah, Jabari. Yeah, my fault. Jabari. That's the thing about Jabari. Coming out of college, that jumper was just getting into form, and then he made the big jump. Keegan been a shooter, so now he just had to make the NBA adjustment, and now he can shoot. Man, he can shoot. He can play. He rebounds well. Yeah, they got themselves a good player there. Little undersized. We'll see how that works out on defense for them, but not like they're a defensive stopper team anyway.
Fair enough.
But yeah, he's a nice little player to watch, man.
He's another young guy on that Kings roster. Hopefully he can stick, with that roster. Hopefully, he continues to trend upwards.
It's the Kings, so we always got to just hope for the best, pray for the best and expect the worst.
Number 3 for the Detroit Pistons, Jaden Ivey.
My guy.
Number 5 overall pick.
My guy.
15.5 points a game, 4.3 rebounds, 4 assists.
At this stage of his career, ahead of what Russie was, and basically the same exact style of player, he is going to be an electric athlete, an electric player in this league for years to come.
That's a statement. That's a bold proclamation.
Man,
yeah,
guy right here, and then you got Kate Cunningham out too, so that's an uprise and an uptick, and they already loving you, and they're gonna love you some more.
He gave him 35 last night.
Same year in Detroit.
He's a bucket. He's a walking bucket because he's fast. He's fast as hell. He can pass. He's working on a jumper. In fact, the jumper looks a little better at this stage than I expected.
Now, number 2 is surprising to me, not from a talent standpoint, but because the coach that this young man has.
Yeah.
Benedict Mathurin for the Indiana Pacers.
Monster.
Number 6 overall pick, 17.9 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, 1.5 assists. And
here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Off the bench. He's not even scoring. He's a 6th man.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
The kid's a monster. So Lewis, who comes in here sometimes, Lewis, he's a Pacer fan. And
they exist?
Exactly. like unicorns, man. It's crazy. Yeah, like the night that they drafted him, I was like, yo, that's a good pick for y'all. It's a good pick for y'all. He reminds me coming out of what teams thought Oladipo was going to be when he got drafted to the Magic. Yeah. Except he actually is that right away. Oladipo was pretty good.
He started getting hurt.
Got hurt, but when they first drafted him to the Magic, he was pretty good. He was solid. Then he went and spent a year with Russie and trained with Russie and became a monster. And then he blew his leg out. And that was a problem after that. But yeah, this kid, he can go. And everybody got on his back because he made that comment about Braun. at the beginning, like when he got drafted. I think it was draft night or something.
Better than Braun. Braun got to show me something.
Yeah, he said, Braun got to show me. He said, Braun got to show me. And sure enough, when they played, he bust. Like he played better than Braun did.
And Indiana got the dub.
That don't mean he's better than Braun, but I'm saying I just like that he backed it up. The kid can go, and not only can he go, he's got an all-world point guard next to him who has no problem feeding him the rock.
Want to be all-star. Just in case you keep wondering why I say want to be all-star. Wally Szczerbiak, during Knicks Pacers game last night, called Tyler Halliburton a wannabe all-star. You know what I'm saying? As I guess a play in the final seconds of that game with that.
That is quite ironic coming from Wally Szczerbiak.
So Taylor Rooks interviewed Tyler today and asked him in regards to the situation. And Tyler Burton just simply said, he's probably a media guy looking for clout, happy that, the Knicks got to win. You know what I'm saying? I don't know this dude. I don't know him at all. Don't know what he's done on the court.
If anybody was a wannabe all-star, it was Wally himself. Bum ass.
Former Celtic.
Wally Szczerbiak, Mr. I kept Garnett in Minnesota way longer than he should have been.
That's cold-blooded, man.
Yeah, bum ass.
And coming in at number 1 in a rookie power ranking,
monster.
Paolo Banchero
was a grown man in college, a grown man in the NBA already.
Number 1 overall pick, 21.8 points per game, 6.6 rebounds, 4 assists.
And that's only because he's being nice and not being a head case. And they got a young, nice team, and he's trying to play within the system. But if he wanted to, he could give you 25, 28 a game right now if he wanted to. He could just head case and bust everybody's ass. They'd lose even more games than they already are, but he don't have to care about that right now. The kid's nice. He got bounce. He got an NBA body since he was in 8th grade probably. The kid can shoot way better than expected, and his handle is straight off of the reel, like off of the rack. Like you could tell he worked on it all summer and got it way better. Flat out, I just can't say enough about the kid. He's the real deal.
Yep. Though the threes have been down, since the threes have been down since his little injury, you know what I'm saying? His assists has gone up. You know what I'm saying? He need to be the true point guard that he is. And I think this is a triple deck guy. He can end up, and then the height separates it all. You know what I'm saying? And if that's going into his game and year by year he is better, he's gonna be a phenomenon, man.
He is every single bit of what Blake Griffin was supposed to be.
That's fair enough.
But he's more than his position. He's more than like Blake Griffin. Like he had his years, but the injuries and everything just thrown him. This guy right here,
like Blake had a moment where he could actually handle the rock and dish too, but the jumper was never as good as Paolo's already.
Right,
and the handle wasn't as good as Paolo's already. Like this kid's already just a monster. From here on, it's just getting better, more consistent, more efficient. And like really soon, I think the next level, like almost immediately, the next level is just how do you make guys around you better?
Exactly. Seven straight 20-plus point games. That's the first time in Orlando history since 30 years ago. Shaquille
O'Neal. Yeah. The kids are kid's special.
Okay, so let's swing on over here to look at the complete package, the top 10 of the current NBA rankings. Coming in at number 10, you got the LA Clippers, who were previously ranked number 9, sitting at 18 and 14.
Got some games, man. You still resting players. You got, the core. You got the core back. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, they're going to be ringing whenever they want to be in the rankings. They'll be in there. Whenever they don't want to be in there, we'll see why. You know what I'm saying? Resting players. And all, they just need to build some continuity. That's the thing that they're going to need. Continuity. Playoff. They're one of these teams that, potentially could win the West, but they're letting the Warriors win the West. You know what I'm saying? But are they really primed to win? Are they kind of spooking the NBA with the injuries, knowing that they're injuries, and they're riddled? And at the end of the day, this is what they're going to be. We don't know that. But everybody keeps giving them a chance. We'll see that.
Yeah, I saw Kawhi and I saw Kawhi, Reggie, and Paul George all play back-to-back games together, and I was like, I've never seen that before. So yeah, it's look, like I said, the reason this team is even still being talked about is because when they were in the playoffs without their two best players and they were still competing, that speaks to coaching and the heart of the rest of the roster. So with that said, you have to keep them up there somewhere, because you know if that team without the two best players on the team can play and compete, and then you bring them back, you should have a pretty good team.
What's the word with you? What's the word with you, little dope?
That being said, I don't even know. So
what's the damn deal?
What's going on? What are we talking
Coming
about?
in at number 9. We have the Philadelphia 76ers at 17-12. Previous ranking was 10.
Mm-hmm. And they get Maxey back around Christmas time, possibly on Christmas. That would be dope for them. We haven't seen this team at full strength in a while. When they was at full strength, they look good. My thing is what it is all the time. You know, when would the next injury occur? Because we know it's going to occur. You know, don't wish to put bad luck on the team, but it's just the bad luck they have.
Comes with the territory.
And this is going to be in the conversation of contenders. You know, they have guys that make them that way. The thing is, against the competition or the opposition, the top dogs, the Milwaukees and the Bostons, what are you going to show? What are you going to prove? What are you going to do different? Because it feels like every time Philly's in a situation against one of those teams, it's always kind of the same thing. So what can they do different? What can they bring different?
5-game winning streak. So the needles pointed up. They headed in the right direction. They're about to get Maxey back. I love that kid. The kid can really ball. So yeah, I mean, they're looking good, man. They'll be all right. But I still matchup wise, I just don't think. Whatever, that's a different conversation. For now,
yeah.
Top 10. In terms of top 10, I can see them moving up a little bit.
Okay. Coming in at number 8.
8 now. Ooh, they were 3 last week.
Yes, previously number 3, and at number 18-12, we got the Pelicans. After their 7-game winning streak, they went to a 4-game losing streak. 2 games at Utah and 1 each to Phoenix and Milwaukee.
They must have seen that the Saints some way, somehow still can win the division. So they probably just told the New Orleans Pelicans to chill out for right now. And it was good while it lasted, man. You know what I'm saying? You got a glimpse of what this team can be when they are clicking on all cylinders. And this is the NBA. You're going to take your losses. You know, we see teams right now dealing with losses. You know, teams that are on top of the rankings. It's okay. You know, remind yourselves to build your team, you know, and do all that. You know, they didn't lose to no slouches. You know, they didn't lose to no slouches. They lost to a Phoenix team that they beat twice. You know what I'm saying? In a week. You know, you lost to Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? You lost games. I think they might have lost to Memphis too. And at the end of the day, you're still learning. You know, you're a good team this year, but you're still learning. And if you can take those learning curves during the season and gain them and gain them for high success, this is the team, and it's the time to do it.
Look, they're 18-12. The leader in the West is 19-11. They're right there. They're in the conversation. They're still doing great. They'll be fine. Man, that game against Milwaukee was crazy. It was the first time I think since like the early 2000s that 2 opposing players scored 25 in the same quarter or same half or something like that. Jonas had 25, and so did Giannis. They were going at it. It was nuts.
Giannis was going ahead.
Yeah, it was nuts, man. So
CJ was going crazy too, though. That game was wild.
Yeah, that game was a wild game.
Indeed.
Coming in at number 7, previously ranked number 7, 19-13, got the Phoenix Suns.
This is the I don't believe you need more people team.
And Booker coming off a fresh 58-point performance against the Pelicans.
Good Lord. That man can get a bucket.
And then they deal with the workplace environment again. Robert Sarver.
Ben Stoll.
Matt Isiba that's trying to look to buy Phoenix. So right now, along with what you said earlier, Coach, the Monty Williams, DeAndre Ayton saga is starting to begin again. The New Year's coming up. So one of the New Year's resolutions will be give that Matt guy sole ownership of for Suns and for Monty and Ayton. Please, man. Just focus on the game at hand. But I think what their argument was, and was regards into, again, touches. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the key. I think that's it right there. I don't know what they're gonna do in this new year, but they got to deal something out and kumbaya until 11:59 and then say Happy New Year.
Yeah, this that team that they made the award for, the regular season award for.
That's cold-blooded, man.
Yeah, look, I've been saying that since we heard about that award. Oh, that's the Suns award. Like, that's just how I feel. Especially this year, because I feel like this team, they're still going to play. Obviously, look, they're 19 and 13. They're playing well. But they have an identity crisis. They have an unhappy third star. They have an aging first star. And they got embarrassed last year in the Game 7 and then came back this year with a lesser team. So I'm going to keep saying that every time we do this.
Agreed. Coming in number 6, previous ranked number 8 at 19 and 12, got the Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn
in the house.
Shout out to the Brooklyn Nets playing good, man. Maybe just the Jay-Z-ness, you know what I'm saying? That kind of try to branch his franchise to be better than what they was. And it just carries that because I got to have some type of love for the Nets, man. Shout out to, first off, the guy that just wants to hoop, Kevin Durant. He just wants to hoop. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
And he wants to hoop and tweet.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He wasn't hooping he just wants to play basketball. I did it.
He wants to hoop. He loves tweeting too. Him and his brother.
His first game winner last week, against Toronto.
That was fun to watch. As much as Kyrie has stressed everybody out, including himself, and including Boston fans.
That athletic.
I was happy when he hit that shot. I was happy for him. I was like, yeah, that's a fun moment for a kid who we know he's clutch. We know he can do it, but it was fun to see that.
Yeah.
No, and just got to keep trimming our victories. Again, like I said with the 76ers, it all comes down to, how do they stack up against the contenders and the contenders. That's what it comes down
to. This team is trending up, and it's interesting. If you had asked,
we had them dead at the beginning of the season. I mean, at the beginning of the season.
Well, dead at the beginning of the season, and then the whole Kyrie thing at that point, during that press conference, or the next couple of days after that press conference, next couple of weeks after that press conference, had you asked or told anybody that the Nets would be 19 and 12 and 6 in the power rankings, that'd have been, people would have been like, nah, that's not right. And so power to them to playing through the adversity, and who knows, maybe all of us piling on and laughing at them and joking and talking all the mess. Maybe we made a monster.
Motivated them.
Yeah, maybe we made a monster.
I've never once discredited them. I never once and we know the reality.
No, I know
in the last few years, but
you're a Jersey kid, so I know you did it.
I don't understand this, and nobody's gonna think like this all the time. You got to pick the sand where it is. They've been a shitty team. But
they've had their struggles.
It's the talent on the front line. You're sitting here like, damn.
It's just, how could you say no to the two of the probably the two most skilled scorers ever are on that same team?
Insane.
So,
shout out to Brooklyn, though, man. Hopefully they keep trending.
Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at?
We can go to the best style. You know what I'm saying? And,
Number 5.
Number 5 is those Denver Nuggets, previously ranked number 5. So nothing's changed. And you know why? Because they lost to the Lakers earlier. Lost to the Lakers last week. But Nikola Jokic became the third player the game after. 40, 25, and 10 games.
Yeah, almost mad that you brought up your Lakers before reading that.
No. Because it's funny that he had that good stellar game after the game that AD was out in the second half.
We gotta repeat that again. 40 points. 25 boards, 10 assists.
Third man to ever do it.
27 rebounds, first with 2 triple-doubles this week. The Nuggets are tied for first place. I believe they're actually in first place in the West right now.
And he is diming to whoever is on the court. It don't matter who it is.
And still that team looks unbalanced. And that's why he's in the discussion for MVP every year.
19 and 11. I'll take that unbalance.
No, the team we'll take those numbers definitely for an unbalanced team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One guy that always excites me on their team, and he may not be the second best on the team, but he seems like he has a rider at Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon's up. I mean, he disappears sometimes, but when he's there, when he's making the plays, it's fun to watch because he got the bounce. He can shoot at times, and like
and then a lot of guys be testing him, like in terms of testing the fortitude, testing him to see where he's at. I feel like he's kind of sometimes in a Blake Griffin situation.
Yeah. You're like
they cringed on to you, and now they just at you every night, trying to take you off the game. You know what I'm saying? And he gotta react.
It's like, you can dunk and jump over mascots, right? Or jump over this.
Let me see what you exactly.
Yeah.
So shout out to Denver, man. You know they look good. They looking good. They're looking better. You know, it's time. It's time for those second henchmen off the top. You know,
my man Bones Highland trying to sneak up into a 6 Man of the Year award. He's trying to ball for that. He plays well off the bench.
Yep,
definitely.
It's a good team.
Coming in at number 4, previously ranked number 6, got the Cleveland Cavaliers at 21 and 11.
They got Jared Allen back.
Donovan Mitchell's around people that looks like him now. You know, so maybe the change in this game. Hey, I'm only saying what Donovan said.
Oh,
He's stupid. You stupid.
Ohio, I get it in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Hurt him wrong. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't lying.
You ain't lying though.
So,
nah, not at all.
Nah, single lie trouble.
Stingy. Their defense is real stingy, and they have a good lineup of defenders. You know, 6-2 since Jared Allen came back from the hip. Will has mentioned this season too. I wonder how they handle that front line as the season goes. They try to mix and trade somebody. They try to add an addition. You know, things of that nature. They won some good games this season. You know, they had a little drop bit, but you know, they're keeping the helm. You know what I'm saying? 21 and 11. Can't be mad if you're a Cleveland Cavaliers fan right now where your team stands.
Yeah. Sorry. Let's fix that for a second there. That cough syrup kicking in. Yeah. Look, this team, like, they're gonna be dangerous no matter what happens because they have 2 elite guards who can score and pass and create at any point of the game from any point on the floor. And then they have solid bigs and wings. Okoro, I love watching him play. The team's a fun team, man. It's just a fun team to watch. And yeah, that's one of those teams that time is gonna be their friend.
Yeah, the young team
because they're young and they just gotta learn how to play with each other and figure out how to win games, closer games. Like I said, I think there's been a question at times for some people about who the guy is. I don't think there's a question. It's Donovan. It's Spider. Right. They give when the moment's big, they give him the ball. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes if he's tired or if Darius Garland got it going, then they'll give it to him. But it's Mitchell's team. They all recognize who the best player on that team is.
Definitely. Some of these earlier comments, man. I trust Phoenix as much as I trust Trump at the Section 8 sign-up. Denver crumbles in the playoffs worse than Family Dollar cookies.
Oh, my God, the cookies crumble. That's hilarious. My man got bars today, huh?
Coming in at number 3, previously number 4, at 19 and 11, the Memphis Grizzlies, who have a West best home record of 13-2.
They got to get healthy. I know Morant.
JJ's back, right?
Yeah. Wait, who?
JJ Jackson.
Yeah. But he also can't stay. He can't stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah.
That's a problem for a guy who's been in the league that long so far. You got to learn by now. That was a problem for Rob Williams in like his first season and a half, and no longer. Like you got to figure that shit out. Like you can't.
You got to know what they calling.
Yeah, you got to know what's going on. You can't always be in foul trouble.
And then young and dumb team. You know what I'm saying?
He got in foul trouble last night. Last night was a beautiful MVP candidate matchup between Ja and Joker, and you need Jaren in there to try to tame as best you can Joker, and he gets in there and he's in foul trouble, and you can see it. He went to the bench, put his head down, and just because he realized like, yo, you can't do this. You messing up. This is a problem. So, but
is
Yeah.
Desmond Bain still out?
I think Bane's still hurt. Yeah,
Bane's still out. My guy waiting for fantasy to really start heating up again. You know, a lot of injuries to start the season. You know, we bounced back. So, you know, waiting on Big Ben to come back. But it's like I said, the Memphis Grizzlies are young and dumb.
Yeah.
They're young and dumb.
That's a great way.
Young and dumb in a good way. Young and dumb in a good way because they have so much potential. Like I said earlier, man, the Warriors are looking for somebody to take the West from them. This is one of the teams that's been in the lane to take the West from them. The question is, can they sustain? Can they go against injuries? You know, they got Ja Morant, you know, every now and again, you know, he's getting hurt. You know, are they disciplined enough?
That's true.
You know, and that's the thing, you know, guys like Draymond Green mentioned last year when it comes to people trying to take control. They got a Christmas matchup with the Warriors without Steph, though, you know, but they have to go into that game like Steph's still playing, I feel. You know, don't go in there like young and dumb. It's like, oh, we're going to win this game because Steph's not playing. You know, because the Warriors could, for some reason, win that game. And then everybody's shocked. And then you got to call because you didn't beat these guys without Curry. So make it a game on Christmas. This is the market you wanted to be in. You're going to get that light on Christmas. I don't care if Steph's not playing. You got to go in there like Steph's not playing.
Yeah.
It's like Steph's playing. Sorry. You got to go in there like Steph is playing. He's not.
We got you.
I agree. We all agree on that. Yeah.
Number 2, previously number 1 at 22-9. Trill Wills own Boston Celtics.
It's what happens when you lose to the Magic. You drop.
Absolutely.
They dropped a pair of home games to the Magic, making it 4 losses and 5.
Hold on, dropped the spot. Dropped one spot.
Yeah.
Dropped one spot.
Yeah. It's all good.
All good, man. Like you said.
It's early, but I don't like losing to these bad teams. It pisses me off.
The defensive fire doesn't seem like. I mean, Rob Williams just came back, but I feel like that defensive surge, that defensive urge that you see in the Celtics with, you know, second half of the season going into the playoffs, you know, it's not following them this season.
The real problem was that we started off the season all time shooting, and now we came back to earth a little bit. So now that we're coming back to earth with shooting, we're gonna have to actually defend now, like you're saying. So
when Ben gets back, it'll be a great run for them.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why teams are better than good seasonal teams. Real talk. Those seasonal teams, man.
Why that award's trash.
And coming in at number 1, previously number 2 at 22-8, and without Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks. They are 4-1 on the season without the MVP. And this is fresh off of beating up on the Jazz by 26 points over the weekend.
Yeah, but when he is there, he's a bullet train.
Yeah.
It is unfair watching him play basketball.
He be sunning folks out there.
People that size are not supposed to move like that.
Nah.
It is unfair. He was created in the lab.
I just get my concern with them is this the depth of older guys they have on their team. And that's the only thing that gets me with them because they have the guys where they need the guys. You know, I just think of Prom last year along with Chris Middleton, you know, getting hurt. I just feel like, you know, the age kind of counted with them. And the Celtics young guns, you know, hitting their prime and their stride. So, I mean, that's the way the series is determined. I feel like this year, if the Bucks don't get to the finals, it'll kind of be the same reason. You know, it's that, you know, you got guys like Ingles coming back, but how healthy is he going to be? You know, how healthy is Holiday going to be made? How healthy is Chris going to be made?
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to question Giannis, you know. Never gonna question him, man.
Ever. Crazy if you do.
Never gonna question him ever. So it's all. Other than that, best coach team in the East, as I said last week. I mean, they got the most experienced team in the East. So
he's a Popovich
regular season
disciple,
is
right?
going to be a recipe always for success in the regular season.
Who? Mad Bum? I mean, wait, who is it? Who's their coach? Budenholzer.
Gardner.
Budenholzer.
No, Budenholzer. Yeah, I did the same thing you did. We thought about Madison Bumgarner.
You know, Atlanta Hawks always finish with the top record. You know, with him there, so the Bucks are going to be on the same track. The question is, man, can they survive the gauntlet in the playoffs? They're one of the best teams in the league. You know what I'm saying?
They're the best team in the league right now.
They're
the best team in the league right now.
One of the best players in the league. One of the best teams in the league.
And you could drop the one for both of those. They have the best player in the league, and they have the best
guys that is like they on paper you're like, okay, you got him, Lopez, Bobby Portis. But when you see these guys in real time, there's something.
Man, I love Lopez, man. I wish he was a Celtic.
Like they surprised me. They got my guy Grayson Allen. I can't wait to see Grayson Allen playoff time. I cannot wait to see Grayson Allen playoff time. Can I get a little kick? Hold on. Get Jaylen Brown real quick. Get Jason Tatum real quick. Can I?
Yeah. You think he's dirty? Think he's dirty now? Put that man in the playoffs.
Enforcement as it is, man.
Yeah, man.
Man, that's good shit, man.
Absolutely.
So hopefully those hanging out with us, y'all enjoyed tonight's wrap-up show. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Who got shout out first, man?
Man, shout out to everybody who showed up, man. Lil Dude, Bobby, who we had Rocketter. We had I can't see who the Facebook user is, but y'all know.
Yeah. Chris, Bobby, Marie, Lil Dude, LOLY. Came in with them bars tonight.
Bars. Shout out to the 32-ounce cup of Theraflu I'm about to drink.
Make it 64.
I know, right? This is a whole
Baby kid, 64 ounces.
Right.
That was the shit back in the day.
Shout out to the brand. Shout out to you fellas, man. It's always fun. I love doing this.
Shout out to you guys, man. All day, man. Wednesday, Wednesday shows, it's so therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? Great that we're getting back on the basketball trend, Basketball is my favorite sport. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But football is the most hottest sport, in my eyes, live with the best of them, man. But nah, man, shout out to everybody that commented. Shout out to everybody that shared, took a peek, could have been anywhere. You here with us tonight. I hope everybody, we're going to see y'all this Sunday, get your Christmas shopping done, get everything done on time. Stores may close a little later. That doesn't mean, continue to be late. Have all your gifts, man. You don't want to be running around.
Yeah, man.
Build a gingerbread house or something. You know what I'm saying?
Something nice. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Yeah, I forgot. We're not going to see y'all till after. So Merry Christmas to everybody. How was my flu game, y'all?
Happy early birthday. Happy early birthday, boy. Happy early birthday, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Hope all your teams get you wins.
I hope so. Celtics play on Christmas, right?
Huh?
Celtics play on Christmas, right?
Yeah, Celtics play on Christmas. Celtics play at 5.
They better win.
They play against the Bucks at 5.
They better win.
Good matchup to see.
How was my flu game, man? Did I hang 60 on them?
You hung 60 on them. You hung 61 on them. Hit a free throw.
We did a $145 today, Coach. My fault. I didn't mean to cut off your.
Come on,
no,
you had 80. Come on, dog. Come on,
Kobe
man.
out here, 81.
Come on. Last week I had my Kobe. Game. You had your Kobe game. Coaches had plenty of Kobe games. You know what I'm saying? He literally went the show with no voice.
Yo, he did. That was the craziest one. We had he was carrying. That was crazy.
So we got for the Christmas Day games, we got the Sixers and the Knicks at noon. We got the Lakers and Mavs at 2:30. We got the Bucks and Celtics at 5. The Grizzlies and Warriors at 8, and the Suns and Nuggets at 10:30.
Okay.
I want to bet that both of those fans that caused that incident in that Nuggets Sun series will be at the game. That'll be dope. Merry Christmas.
Well, man, appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight, man. Shout outs to my family. Shout outs to my co-host tonight. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all did your damn thing. Well, you did it, man. You Byron Russell that sickness.
Yeah.
You hit it with the fadeaway, baby.
Here we go. I was gonna hold it up there.
Christmas Eve is gonna be good for you. It's supposed to be a storm.
Gotta give them the shrug after.
So you be in the house most of the day on Christmas Eve, but there's a ton of football games, you know, on Christmas Eve. So, you know, to watch that, between that, college sports, you know, NBA, as we were just speaking about, you know, enjoy it, man. Especially on the East Coast, man. Don't go out if you don't have to.
Oh, shout out to my boy Derek James. Appreciate you, man. Chopping it up with you today. Saw my boy, he's Earl Spence trainer, went to high school with him.
Oh,
good thing, man. So I'm at the mall today.
That's why Earl's scared to fight Pacquiao.
I would not ask that man that question.
I want to know. No, for real. Ask him. Like, say my man's on the show said, you know, you see Spence, ask why he fight Pacquiao. He ain't going to answer, but if he asks him, you know, that'd be cool.
He might answer with some of these, maybe.
Well, man, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Make sure you tune in with us Sunday morning for the Fantasy Football Inside Show. We only got about 2 of those left.
Yeah.
Playoffs going on.
And if we've been watching this week, semi-final matchup, got him coach versus just add baking soda. You know what I'm saying? History. You know what I'm saying? 2 of the co-hosts of the show, man, playing for a championship. You know,
That's
champ.
That's
you know,
fun.
it's gonna be dope.
And that league, I think it ended up playing out. We talked about it. All of the lower seeds won their games.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. Underdog
5,
City.
6, 7, and 8 all won. Man.
Underdog City.
Any given Sunday, baby.
Yes,
We
it is.
appreciate y'all, man. Y'all hanging out with your boys.
Really demon.
See y'all soon, man. Be light. Peace.